comic book friends, I'm Travis, and it's New Comic Book Day, or at least New Comic Book Day for me. These are comics from the week of July 18th. 19 books this week, quite a few. So let's check out and see what all is here. Get my stuff out of the way. So first up we have the Hulk, the Immortal Hulk, issue number 3. There are a lot of names on that cover. I actually really liked issue number 2. A little iffy on issue number 1. Really enjoyed issue number 2. I'm really digging the style of the book in that it's almost one and done kind of stories. I mean, there's a over an umbrella type story about people wondering if Bruce Banner is back and the Hulk is back and all that because he's died and everybody thought he was dead, kind of a thing. And there's this reoccurring element of the difference between Banner now and the Hulk. The Banner is smart but not super genius. He kind of feels like the genius is now in the Hulk itself, and the Hulk may be inspired by anger, but also the Hulk is kind of like is out at night. Sort of thing. There's lots of just kind of elements. So I don't know that I would consider it true horror, but there is a horror element to the book. And like I said, issue number 1, I was like, yeah, okay. On issue number 2, I really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to reading issue number 3. I hope it continues to kind of be, him wandering across America, almost seemingly kind of drawn towards stuff. And then, there's some elements there that he resolves. And then there's this larger thing that's going on. So I like those. I like that element of storytelling. I enjoy it, especially, when we're talking a serialized story, that makes it really enjoyable, as opposed to if you were reading something that was in a trade format, then that single story may not be as interesting because you can just keep reading. As opposed to this, I get a single story. I get to ponder it for 30 days before the next issue comes out, and I enjoy that. I enjoy serialized comics. I enjoy monthly comics. So Gideon Falls, issue number 5, has really gotten interesting. I enjoy each issue more and more. Just the elements of this black barn that's kind of hung around Gideon Falls for many generations, it seems. Is it crazy talk? Is it real? All the elements that go along with that are really interesting. We get this somewhat washed up priest who is stuck in Gideon Falls trying to pick up the pieces of this bizarre thing that's going on and trying to understand it, and not, basically being told in a sense that you need to have faith, and it's like, I don't have faith in that kind of thing, even, which I find all interesting. And then we've got Norton, who seems schizophrenic, but now his doctor, his psychologist, is now also seeing the black barn and the elements of it and stuff. So, so it kind of starts slipping out of the fact that it's not schizophrenia and that it's real, which makes it all really interesting. So, East to West. Gosh, finally getting East to West issue back. Issue number 38. I know there's some delays coming up because I ordered my comics through Discount Comic Book Service, and I just got an email this week telling me that I believe it was issue number 42 was canceled, is being resolicited. So it's not like the book's canceled. It's just that it's going to be so delayed that they're just killing the order, and I'll reorder it when it comes out and whatnot. So super much looking forward to this. I want to say that is Pestilence there on the cover. Issue 38, East to West, always just a brilliant, really fun book to read. Always excited to get it, always to check it out and whatnot. Amazing book once you get into it. It is just really, really cool. Really wonderful storytelling by Hickman, this kind of long-term storytelling. And Dragata does some amazing work too with his art. Kate Carson has an Interstellar Eye, issue number 5. Little bit of rock and roll. Issue 5, so one more issue after this. Continue to really dig the artwork. I don't know that I'm sold on this second story of Cave Carson, but I'm digging the art tremendously. So, final issue of The Brave and the Bold. Maybe I'll go back and read this at some point. I basically started to read issue 3 and I didn't enjoy it, so I'm done reading it. Now that I have it all in one group, maybe at some point when I'm out of things to read, I will sit down and attempt to read the whole thing through. Beautiful art, just not interested in the story itself at all. Stellar, issue number 2. I did not care for issue number 1. Just didn't have anything that really hooked me or whatnot, so I am not ordering more issues of this. I don't think I'm going to end up with issue 3. I will read issue 2, just in the off chance it's super good, and I have to like scramble, to pick up the issues that I missed to get back on it. But issue 1 definitely did not sold me on the book. So we'll see how that plays out. Weatherman, issue number 2. I really, really enjoyed Weatherman. I just read it a couple weeks ago because my issue number 1 I was delayed in getting it. But I like the setup. We're on Mars. It's 2722 or something like that in the future. There was some massive extermination event that went on Earth. It seems to be like it was some sort of man-made sort of a thing, possibly. There's lots of remembrance about that. We have this guy who actually is a weatherman. He's kind of a shock jock weatherman. He's doing all this ridiculous stuff along with telling the weather and whatnot. And we find out that at the end of it, the U.S., the government, I don't know if it's the U.S. government, the government protects him from some hitmen that were trying to kill him. And then we find out that they're out to arrest him because they think that he is responsible for those deaths. And he doesn't really remember. He doesn't really remember a lot about his past. I mean, he's not like a true amnesiac. He just doesn't think about that old stuff and really can't. So I'm really curious to see what that is, what that plays out, why not. So I like the idea, and I really love the Nathan Fox artwork, and I love the fact that Dave Stewart is coloring it this really bright kind of thing, which is along the lines of how Nathan Fox colors his own work when he colors it. So I think it's cool that Dave Stewart has taken that on to color it in that sort of a way. So as opposed to the kind of the nittier grittier palette that we see a lot of his work in the Magnolia universe, or the very clean bright colors when he colors J.H. Williams III. So excellent artist. Anyway, issue 51 of Batman Cold Days Part 1. So we're gonna get some Batman and Mr. Freeze. I like Mr. Freeze a lot. Lee Week's art, so the art will be stellar on it. What's King going to do? What's King going to do now that the wedding is over? Are we going to address it at all? I hope so. I hope it continues to play a part in this, in the story of what sounds like he has a story idea that lasts 100 issues, because he said that the wedding issue number 50, was the halfway point. So now I'm curious to see what is next that attaches all of this together in one grand thing. So, Batwoman, issue number 17, Time of Your Life, Part 1. Bennett and Blanco still doing the work on here, the story. I have no idea what this is going to be now after the way the last issue ended with kind of, Batman informing her that she had another strike against her. They've removed her from the Detective Comics book. Now it's Black Lightning has kind of taken over the role that originally they kind of teased was going to be Batwoman's role. So now that she's not attached to the Batman stuff as much, other than by being named Batwoman, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with her. What else she might explore or whatever. I continue to enjoy the book. It's not like mind-blowing, but I really like the character, and there's nothing about this that makes me dislike the character. So I'll continue to read. I've been enjoying it. For however long it lasts. I kind of was under the impression that maybe it was going to reach some sort of ending, but I guess not. I don't know. Can't remember if I've ordered it lately. I'm bagging the rest of my books here as I talk. So, what else we got here? It's thick, whatever it is. Oh, Clan Killers, issue number 1. This is by Aftershocks, and I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Pardon me. Yes. Clan Killers. I have no idea specifically what the book is about. It is by Sean Lewis and Antonio Fuso. It looked like it might be interesting. It's got the artwork in it is very. It reminds me of Brown. Oh, what's his first name? I want to say Gary, but I don't think that's right. Who has done things like Black Road. He's done some other Aftershocks comic too, and I'm drawing a blank on those. Anyway, artwork looks like that. Hell is a Place Called Ireland is the name of the first issue of Clan Killers. Let's get something that doesn't have quite so much nudity in it. So yeah, here's our simple, kind of work. But I like it, and I believe it basically has to do with some clan wars and some of that sort of stuff. Some interesting elements going on. So I'm not exactly sure. There's lots of somewhat naked stuff, and it looks like there's some supernatural things going on in it. There's some nuns in it, some druids in it, some really tall stuff in it. It's got some black matter. It's got some previews in this. That's why it's so thick. Okay. Yeah. I'll be checking it out. See what it's about. A lot of the Aftershocks comics I've really enjoyed. So, anyway, curious to see what it is about. I knew what it was about until I picked up the book and I wanted to tell you about it, and then I don't remember exactly specifically what it was about. So, wow. It is Wildstorm issue number 15. Warren Ellis and John Davis Hunt driven book. We've had the aliens are starting to bust out from some of the special forces from back in the day. No idea what's going on. I really like the book, but there are so many of these kind of moving parts that I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. Where it's all leading to. I don't know. We are down to, 9 issues? Good stuff, though. I've enjoyed it. Every issue of that book. So, Shadow Man, issue number 5. Really dug the last issue of Shadow Man. This is Dead and Gone Part 2, because it's gone back in the past. We're in the 1920s. The Roaring 20s. And I really enjoy this Shadow Man, this incarnation of Shadow Man. So, and our Shadow Man is he is stuck in the body of, he's kind of riding along, in the body of the 1920s Shadow Man. How that's going to attach to the to the current, I don't know. I don't know if it will. Or this is just a way for them to interestingly tell older versions of Shadow Man stories. Kind of thing, but I'm liking the old stuff. It feels much more grounded and like there's a purpose, as opposed to the modern Shadow Man that seems to have none. So, liking that, like the last issue. So, checking that out. Royal City issue number 12. Is this the last issue? Wow, there's nothing. I mean, that's great that it's on our sweatshirt. This might be the last issue. I know it's ending very soon. That he decided that he was done with the story. The story had told itself and what he wanted to tell. So, Jeff Lemire. Be checking that out. I enjoyed it mostly. Justice League number 4. I had a conversation with Longbox Review. Very brief one. I plan to have more, hopefully, this weekend with him. He's not liking Justice League at all. He thinks it's simple. And there are way better group comics that do this simple story better. I like it. I like it a lot. I love the artwork. I like the way it's been told up so far. I think it's interesting. I feel like it's interesting having either Martian Manhunter be basically the narrator, or Lex Luthor be the narrator, as we got this, Legion of Doom and the Justice League things building up to see what that is and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. It's not deep by any means, but still really been liking it. I believe this is the final issue of Deathbed. Yep, issue number 6. Let's see how it all ends. For me, it's mostly about the art at this point. But yeah, we'll see how, what kind of story we get as this guy is resolved to kind of what his role is and stuff. As his life has been recorded, and can he pick up the pieces before it all ends. So Another number one. This is Euthanauts, issue number one from Black Crown, written by Teeny Howard. Robble's doing the art, and I think Bill Kadar does the coloring on it. Absolutely love this cover. So it's kind of like a diving, old-fashioned diving bell kind of a thing, except it's clearly in the ether. It's in space or something along those lines. Basically, I was at Emerald City Comic Con when this book was announced. It's basically going to be, what's the one frontier that man hasn't explored yet, and that is death, and what comes after death. And so that's what this is kind of about. The art samples that they had there looked gorgeous, looked like this cover. So I'm really interested to see what that is. I don't have a lot of experience with reading Teeny Howard's work. Visually, this book looked really stunning, and I like the idea. Seems really intriguing to me, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading it and checking it out. Another book I'm always excited to read is Evolution, issue number 8. What is going on in Germany with this maybe special branch of the UN that seems to know who our nun is, and they're doing their stuff, and then we have our doctor who is broken into the CDC or is about to break into the CDC to get whatever experimental type stuff that he needs. That's pretty intriguing going on there. And then the other kind of twisting story is our two lovers with the film score and stuff like that. And one of them is now showing signs of having the sores and tentacles on her. What does that mean with their crazy benefactor? It'll all be interesting. So anyway, very much enjoying Evolution. Largely, it's the inferior art. It's just excellent. Boyd's colors on it are pretty outstanding too. And then we have Ice Cream Man is back. This is issue number 5. This is a Fraser Irving variant cover. Typically, if there's a Fraser Irving cover or Fraser Irving artwork, I'm always going to pick it up. Ice Cream Man has been a lot of fun. It's been largely kind of, to some degree, a one-and-done sort of a story with elements that pass over between them. Basically, Ice Cream Man himself, and it's kind of a outer limits sort of a styles of stories, somewhat horror and scary and frightening kind of a thing, but intriguing at the same time. So I don't know what's going to be in this issue, but I've been really enjoying it. Another book I get for the art and just the kind of weirdness that it is, with no idea whether or not there's, sincerely an actual plot in it, but I don't care. This is issue 2 of Proxima Centauri, and basically Daryl Dumpel, anything that he does, I buy. I just like his imagination. I like his style. I'm just intrigued by all the weird and odd little stuff that he puts in his work that just makes me interesting. Flying goldfish with top hats and other strange things that go on in his work. So I just, is this like a space wizard? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to checking it out and seeing what it is. And that's it for my books. These are books that I will hopefully maybe talk about in some sense next week. I think work is going to interfere next week with Comic Book Roundtable. There should be a Comic Book Roundtable tonight. It may just be me there. Hopefully I'll have a decent internet connection. Last week, halfway through Comic Book Roundtable, I lost my internet completely. So hopefully this week I do not have those problems, and I will be here to chat comics. Anyway, have a great one, everybody, and until next time.